All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Sportsmen. Mikey V, Joey D, I'm the big ticket. Guys, let's just jump into this one. Let's start with Daytona 500.
It was pretty cool.
From the outside looking in, it looked like you guys had one hell of a weekend, just hanging out with each other more than anything. So walk me through that. How was it?
Yeah, weather, we've been snake bitten with this weather 2 weekends in a row. Arizona was not great, and Daytona was terrible. The weather was terrible.
It didn't stop raining.
It rained from Saturday morning to Monday when our planes took off. So unfortunately, we missed the race, but the NASCAR people couldn't have been better. They drove us around the track. They showed us, the merch tent. They hooked us up with merch. Met a couple of the drivers, obviously, at K1 Speedway. We did the go-karting with them rather than doing the golf because of the rain again. Listen, I think watching the race on Monday a little bit, watching bits and pieces and able to watch it, I think we would have had a spectacular time, man, if we actually got to go to the race, because I think NASCAR, the way they were hooking it up, I think we would have been able to be in the pits, the suite, I think we would have just had so many cool experiences. So it sucks that it didn't happen, but hopefully, they come back again for next year or a different race. And we could actually get the full-on experience of a huge race like that, because it was electric, man. The place was packed. It was mobbed. There was people everywhere. You couldn't get from point A to point B. Every like restaurant in the vicinity, every parking lot, it was just a huge party. There were guys shotgunning beers in a parking lot that was like crazy. 10 miles away from the stadium.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with it. But of course it did, because that's what everyone's there for. So it was very cool. I think we had a great time just hanging out and doing what we did, but hopefully next time we get to actually catch the race.
Yeah, I would say that we had a great time hanging out, but you would say that the reason we were there was to get in on, especially someone like myself who's never really partaken in any kind of race when it comes to NASCAR. I've never watched one. I've never been a part of one. So I was looking forward to kind of getting a real up close and personal look at how that operates and the pit crews and everything. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do it, but I will say that leaves the door open for the future, where we can experience another opportunity. Maybe not Daytona, but maybe another venue. Las Vegas has an has a NASCAR race.
Yep.
Apparently that's really fun. So we'll see. But I will say this, that from like a content creator side, working alongside NASCAR, these guys are some of the easiest to work with. They were so accommodating. They were awesome. They really treated us so well. That it makes me want to continue to like support them and like actually get to know the in-depth inside of how that whole world works.
And you know what?
I don't know.
You know what? When you work for a company like that, even if it's in, basically a pro bono capacity, and they just let us be ourselves and kind of just do what we do best. And you could see that the content just slapped. From Joe's video of waking up and thinking that the race was going on, from Bob's mirror video, from Perez going into the pool, to my AI post with the guys in the race car outfits through the artificial intelligence. Like they didn't like cookie cut us at all. And there's nothing worse than getting like cookie cut, nonsensical, scripted stuff that you got to spit out. Of course, you're going to have to do ad reads. Of course, you're going to have to mention certain things that they want you, certain tags, hashtags. I understand, but from the creative standpoint, they just kind of let us take the ball and run with it, and good on them, because I think the content, was spectacular. All of our stuff got great numbers on it. So I think that was good for them, and it was really appreciated. I appreciated it, certainly.
Tick, are you familiar with NASCAR? Have you ever been to races?
Yeah, I've been to like 10 races. I've been to a ton.
Oh,
Tick said he was a big NASCAR guy.
Yeah, I went to Dover a lot. I went to Richmond, New Hampshire. Yeah, I love. I
heard Talladega's a time.
Talladega. See, but the thing about those bigger tracks, the 2.5 milers or the 2 milers, is you can't see the whole track. So it's more about the experience. I wish you guys could have heard how loud it gets too. You got to wear the
people told me
that's what the drivers were saying, that it's so loud.
You need earplugs.
Yeah, you do.
You can't watch 200 laps without earplug. You're going to be deaf. You're going to hurt yourself. But yeah, that's so wait, you
Wild.
guys did still get to go in the pace car? They still got to
No, everything
no.
got canceled.
No, everything got canceled. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you guys said they took you around the track.
They took us around the outside of the track. I'm sorry, not
to
inside.
the
Oh,
merch
got it.
area. We got a bunch
Gotcha.
of stuff, and
It sounds like they're, like you guys just said, it sounds like they're great partners. I thought
They're
for
awesome.
sure that
They're
they were
awesome.
going to be like, sorry, like, listen, guys, I know it sucks, but you got to come to the race. And I'm sorry,
Dude,
it's on
they were-
Monday
well, that
now.
was the thing. We said that we had booked our flights back for the Monday. They said, okay, that's fine.
Wow, that's incredible, man. That's
They
great.
still got a lot of push from us though, man. Like
Sure,
they've got
sure.
a lot of eyes on their product, and probably from a demographic that maybe not necessarily is a demographic that typically watches or looks at NASCAR. And I got to tell you, my son, I had it on for Dominic. He was getting such a kick out of it just watching the cars go around. So I brought him back a little metal Dale Earnhardt car, and he was loving it, dude. He was loving it. He thought it was the greatest thing. So they may have a new young fan in their midst. They certainly have an older one. I know all of us appreciated it and liked what we saw. So hopefully we stay involved to a degree.
Yeah, all your guys' videos were great. I got to tell you, the one of Perez though falling into the pool.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
one of the funniest fucking
He
things.
didn't know what he was going to
I've
do. It was like
ever-
midway through the day. He was like, well, everybody's got things posted. I guess I'll go fuck myself. and then like we're watching a game, and all of a sudden he's like, I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And I was like,
So
all right, what are
perfect.
you going to do? He's like, I just need Bob to hold the camera, and I'm going to belly flop into the pool. And he
Yeah, I
didn't
mean,
even say
even-
anything more.
even
I
a-
was like,
Even us going to dinner in the NASCAR jackets, I mean, it was just so outrageous, man. It was outrageous. But that's kind of what that whole weekend just feels like. It's just an absurd crew of people down there, man. So I don't think you could really be that crazy in that situation, because
Yeah.
you got some crazy people down there. Crazy.
is the bigger
Yeah.
is the bigger ticket? Is he a fan of NASCAR?
Oh, he's he watches Indy cars, he watches NASCAR. I mean, he's been into
What's the
racing
difference
his whole
between
life.
the Indy cars and the NASCARs?
Indy cars, I mean, it's a completely different style of racing. The cars, if you look at them, are completely different, but they're like toned down F1 cars. They look a lot like F1 cars,
yeah,
but they don't
yeah.
go as fast, and they don't go off road very much, which is all F1 really is off road tracks. But they go in circles. You know, they turn left, the same as NASCAR. They're just in a different style car. I don't know nearly as much about that as I do about F1 and NASCAR, but yeah, my bigger ticket's a big fan of all that stuff.
I love that.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say about it is, even though you guys, it would have been great to go to the race that Sunday where you guys were just hanging out. I imagine you were making bets. That had to be a great time.
I started early.
I was
I
envious.
started early with the English Premier League.
Yeah, EPL. That's been like the
7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning.
That's been like the theme of the last like 2 weekends in Arizona too. We would start with EPL and then go to college basketball, golf, and then like end in NBA basketball. It's just so bad. So bad.
Did you
So
guys
great,
win?
though.
Did you guys win?
We won in the beginning, and then we got mushed.
Okay.
Yeah, Bob really mushed us.
Oh, he is the worst. He likes to push the blame off to the Jet. Bob is the worst gambler of all time. He sucks. He stinks. I love the
so
guy.
much to
but
the point
he stinks.
we had Manchester United, I think, to win by over 1.5
Two goals they had to
So
win
2
by.
goals they had to win.
Yeah.
Ticket, they were up 2-0 in the 14th minute. They scored in the first minute. Bob walks downstairs in the 17th minute, 20th
Instant goal.
minute.
Instant goal.
Luton Town scored, and from that point onwards, it looked like we were facing
Man U had like 3 breakaways, one-on-one
couldn't score a
against the
breakaway.
goalie, and they couldn't score after that. It was just one of the sickest losses I've ever seen. It was horrible. Horrible.
He's a fucking mush, dude.
Sick, man. Sick.
All right, guys, let's move on to a little bit of college football. They have sort of set the parameters on how this new 12-man playoff is going to look. It sounds like there's a guaranteed top 5 champions of each conference of the 5 highest seeded teams. And then the next highest seeded teams that weren't conference champions, the next 7 then are the rest of the field there. Mikey, I mean, do you like this? Do you like the way that they're doing that? Do you think it should just be the flat out top 12, or how do you feel about this new format?
I think it's fine because it's
Okay.
12. If it was 8 and they said the top 5 have to be the conference champions, then I think it could get dicey. But the fact that you still have 7 spots open after you give away the 5 to the champions is going to cover those like SEC, Big Ten, ACC teams that are just outside of, that like a Georgia, like that'll be covered.
Right.
Like an LSU potentially, that'll be covered. Like an Ohio State, that'll be covered. A Penn State, that'll be covered. So you'll still get those fringe teams in the big dog conferences in there. The issue I have is like, who the fuck is left in the Pac-12, dude? Like, who's left? Like, it's the bottom of the barrel scraping. It's the dregs. Like, that is going to be a wasted spot to some degree, in my opinion, because that conference is just
Washington. Is
Washington? Washington's gone.
Yeah, they're
Washington's
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
Washington's gone. Oregon's gone. USC's gone. UCLA's gone. Like, who's left?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Arizona.
Yeah.
Okay. Arizona, the mighty Arizona football team. When's the last time they're, they have been relevant since I don't know when. But anyway, I don't have an issue with it only because there's 7 additional spots. Had there only been 3, then I'd say, that's cutting it close and it's a waste of a spot for a really good SEC or Big 10 or
right.
Big 12 team. But that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be great. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Anything's going to be better than what last year was. And seeing teams go undefeated, not make the playoff. I mean, that's just, this is going to settle a lot of bullshit that has gone awry, a lot of politics for many years. This will hopefully settle the score. And what I think you'll see, Michael, is I think you'll see some teams who sneak into the playoff will end up actually upsetting some of these bigger teams, because I think the nature of college football is so unprecedentedly, up and down. You never know what you're going to get. Like one week, one team looks unbelievable. The next week, they don't look that great at all. So I think that this will lead to a lot more parity, and it'll be pretty interesting to see what happens in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited that the top 4 are going to get a bye. I think teams are going to be gunning very hard still. Like, people will say, well, the regular season games don't mean as much. I think towards the end of the season, you'll see that they do, because those teams are going to want to buy, because no one's going to want to have to win 4 playoff games to win the national championship. No one's going to want to do that. Yeah. You're also going to get to see home teams that are the higher seeds play a home playoff game before you get into that next round, which is really going to be cool. I mean, to see a college football playoff game in a team's home stadium, you think about the most raucous crowds in sports. To me, automatically, I go to college football. Those are the most raucous crowds in all of sports. And now you're going to put a playoff game at potentially like in a Death Valley or in the swamp or in Beaver Stadium on a whiteout game. That is going to be insanity. That is going to be must-watch, can't-miss TV. I'm getting chills thinking about it. I can't fucking wait. I cannot wait. It's going to be great.
So for those top 4 spots that get a bye, is that just regardless, no matter what, if you won the conference championship or not? Is it just the top 4 ranked teams that are in there? Or
I think, but I don't know if are they saying that the top 5 seeds are the conference champions?
Yeah,
that's what I'm unsure.
Okay, so then I would imagine that the controversy is going to come on the 5th team. Who's going to be 4 and who's going to be 5? So that's going to leave some controversy there, because if there's 2 Power 5s that are undefeated, well, not all of them are going to be undefeated, but if there's 2 1-loss Power 5s, and they're going to have to determine who's the 4th and who's the 5th, that's going to be a huge determination. So the committee's not completely off the hook they're still in a very hard spot, because they're going to have to make a determination on who's going to get the bye and who's not. And there's always going to be the team that doesn't get it. That's the 5th seed, is going to complain that they didn't get it. But on the flip side, they're going to get a true home game against the lowest seeded team left in the playoff. So
and Michael,
I don't know
it's
how
better
much
than
they
not
could
making
really
the playoffs at all, which would have been the alternative in the past.
True.
And they host the game, and it's against the lowest seeded team. So, but you want the bye. You want the bye. Of course, you want the bye. But it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be so cool, man. It's going to be cool.
So too. Certainly where we've been coming from. So. All right, let's move on here. Joey D, you're one of the only guys I know still hanging on to the NBA. Did you get a chance to watch the All-Star game? Did you watch? That wasn't an intro.
What an intro.
No, it's true.
No, but it is though. It is one of the few guys hanging on to the NBA.
Did I know? There's plenty of them out.
The NBA stinks.
I know. Well, it doesn't stink. It
sure does. It sure does. Mac McClung again is in the slam dunk contest. The guy doesn't even play in the league. What are we doing here, man?
Is that right?
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah.
That's the second year in a row that they've done this. Guy
What is
doesn't.
he playing? The
He's
D
in the
League?
G. He's in the G League, I think.
Oh my!
Yeah,
God.
last
Well,
year
he was
in
he was 76 or so, right?
last year he was. I didn't even watch this year, but
That's
I know
so
I know he
bad,
won.
Joe.
Yeah, no, I'm not making excuses for it. It was horrible. Michael and we turned on the fucking All-Star game for a minute, and you want to hear something really sick. You want to hear something sick?
Oh my
Mikey
God!
goes, it was at halftime. He goes, guys, can you believe the live over under for the game?
375 and a half.
By the way, it went over by like 20 points.
Sure it did.
Bob goes, oh, I might hammer the under.
Oh, God.
I'm
Could you
like, Bob, you
imagine?
want to hammer an under in an all-star game? So we turned it on. Thankfully, Bob didn't put anything on it, but like they were just chucking threes up from almost mid-court. And then
half
no
court and they're
one's
throwing threes. And in transition, they just don't play transition defense.
Oh,
so
no,
there's
of
no
course
bucket.
not.
rare
and a
times. Yeah, the rare time somebody took the ball into the hole, they just
Right.
got a free dunk. It was
Yeah.
like there was no one even near.
Mhm.
It was
I know.
some of the worst.
It's embarrassing. Man. It's
I
embarrassing.
said to Mikey, I was like, could you imagine like paying hard-earned money for a ticket to go to that game? By the way, the halftime show was one of the worst things
Who was it?
ever.
I don't
Jordan
know.
Sparks or whatever, or the fucking American Idol winner.
Right.
They would have
right,
been better
right.
off
Was-
with. They would have been better off with Bubba Sparks. Remember Bubba Sparks?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
They would have been better off with sign language. I mean, it was one of the worst things I've ever seen, man. It was the whole thing. I mean, we watched maybe what, Mikey, 15 minutes, and we had to
It was
turn it off.
unwatchable. It was unwatchable.
So pathetic.
Unwatchable.
And you know, it's sad because I remember back in the day, like, you know, the NBA All-Star game at the very least, the skills competition was like must watch
Always
sport
awesome.
television.
Yeah.
It was so
The dunk
slam
contest
dunk,
was
the
the
three
dunk
point-
contest was must watch TV back in the day.
It was
The
one of the best thing in
three-point
sports.
competition.
Yeah.
You would be waiting all year for the dunk contest.
Correct.
Literally.
Yeah. I know.
And then they, you know, it slowly deteriorated where like the top players no longer participated in the NBA dunk. You know, it started with LeBron never competed, and for whatever reason they thought they were going to get hurt, or who knows what the fuck, man. And then it's like now they don't even have players in the league. They got guys who you don't even know who the fuck are taking
know.
dunks. And you know, and it used to be, I even remember when who was it? Dwight Howard was jumping over fucking cars.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
With
At
the
least
super
back
tape
then.
on.
I mean, at least back then, I mean, they were still entertaining, but it's gotten to a point now where it's just, it's pretty brutal.
Blake
Like,
Griffin jumped over a Kia.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Vince Carter and like, come on, man. Like, there's no.
It used to be
comparison
awesome,
that.
man.
There's
It
no
used to be
comparison.
awesome.
Yeah.
LeBron started
Yeah.
that trend of all-stars not participating at all. And everyone
He started a lot of shitty trends. A lot of shitty trends. He
Yeah.
really did. He started he started the I'm going to take my talent to that trend.
Sure.
He started the guys ducking out of the dunk contest, that trend.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, he's a horrible
Jet has
trendsetter.
a good one on him. He said he always carries a book. Like when you see him like near an interview, but it always looks like he's only on the first page.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
That was me.
Oh,
because
was it you?
in the
That's
first
been
time he did
that's
that
been
was
pointed out. That's
when
been
he was in
pointed
the
out.
bubble. He was always on the first page of a Malcolm X book. And he had his glasses on, and he wanted us to know that he's getting involved in, you know,
Sure.
the politics that were going on at that time during the bubble and the pandemic. And he was just such a fraud. Like, bro, you don't have to. I can't get into him, man. He's unbearable. He's dude. Do you remember that one All-Star game? I remember it being the last good one, where at the end of the game, LeBron refused to take the last shot, and he passed it, and then Kobe got in his ass.
Oh, I
Kobe-
remember that.
Kobe and
I
him
love
were
Kobe,
fighting
man.
for such a long time. He was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You're the best player in the league, and you're passing it to win the game here. What are you?" That was the last one I remember.
Kobe was such a killer, bro.
He's the
Such
best.
a killer.
He's the best. He's from Philly. He's a Philly guy.
Yeah.
Before he moved.
That's where he gets that attitude, dog.
Before he moved to Paris, which is where he
Sure.
really grew.
He was in Italy too.
Yeah, well, maybe it was Italy and not Paris. I
Yeah,
thought it was
Italy.
because he
Italy.
speaks
Italy.
French.
It was it. No,
He was in Italy. Yeah.
Italy.
Well, then he speaks Italian then, because wherever he moved, I know
Italian.
he spoke
yeah,
the
he
second
spoke-
language.
And
Yeah,
I
didn't
I
know that.
saw actually on my Instagram today they showed an old clip of LeBron taking the ball all the way down the court, and Kobe is guarding him from one side of the court to the other, and then blocks his ass and just starts trash talking. And this was an all-star game. Nowadays,
Kobe,
God
dog.
forbid, man.
Yeah, no.
It's because Kobe knew LeBron was soft, and he hated that that's where the league was. I mean, yeah, he's an infuriating player, man. LeBron, he could be the most physically dominating defensive player in the league, but he just flip-flops all over the fucking court. And then everyone followed his lead because he's the superstar of the league, and now the sport has turned into a fucking
Well, he's also done
nightmare.
a lot of good for the NBA, Tick.
Like,
I mean, what about beating the Golden State Warriors in that where they're down 3-1? That was arguably one of the greatest teams in NBA history. And he came back, and that was riveting. That was awesome to watch. Or, I mean, like, even when he was when he was younger with Cleveland, he was awesome. I didn't like his phase with Miami.
Oh God, the Miami thing was tough.
Yeah, loved Dwayne Wade though. He was
D Wade was great. Yeah.
All right, guys, 2024 is here in full swing, and that means it's time for our New Year's resolution check-in with our good friends over at Manscaped. It's never too late to level up your grooming game and keep your bush tamed, gentlemen. Keep your bush tamed. Okay? Manscaped's new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is every man's cheat code to look good, feel good, and turn the page on confidence this year. Guys, I had to have my own check-in. Okay? I had to look at myself in the mirror. Need a haircut. I'm letting myself go here a little bit. But the beard is always looking good for as much as I have one, and that's because of Manscaped's new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Whether you're going for a trim or that clean-shaven look, this trimmer has you covered. Trusted by over 10 million men worldwide, now is your time to get a grip on your grooming with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use code SportsmanPod20. That's code SportsmanPod20 for 20% off plus free shipping. Okay? The ball is dropped, but don't drop the ball on your balls. Manscaped to the moon. All right, guys, let's move on here. Mr. Anderson has this on here. Justin Fields unfollows the Bears.
Oh, no.
Starts following Falcons players. I mean, that's never a good sign. I mean, AJ Brown did it. Now he just did it to the Eagles. I don't think he's going to. That's never a good sign. Mikey, I mean, it might be good for you. You want Caleb Williams. So that might be a good sign for you getting the guy you want.
I don't necessarily want Caleb Williams, but I understand the possibilities of Caleb Williams. And I think it's the smarter move for the GM at this point is to draft Caleb Williams. But I just talked to Adam Rank about this for like a half hour. Him unfollowing, and he answered to it. He gave his reasoning today on the Brown Brothers podcast, which is Amon-Ra St. Brown and Equanimous St. Brown, their podcast. And he said the reason he did it was that he's going on vacation, and he didn't just unfollow the Bears, he unfollowed the NFL and the Bears. And the reason he did that is because he's sick and tired of hearing about every single day of his life. Are the Bears going to trade him? Are they going to draft Caleb Williams? Are they going to trade him? Are they going to? And to a degree, I kind of understand that, because if you're going to work every single day and all that's being talked about and thrown in your face is your boss replacing you, that has to be kind of an annoying situation. The thing with me is this. You could have just deleted Instagram, dog, or you could have just disabled it, or you could have muted the accounts.
Surely there's someone in his camp who could tell him.
If you're Justin Fields and you do what you did, this is only going to bring that much more attention to you. So he's either looking for the attention or he really didn't think it through completely. Either way, I don't have an issue with the reason as to why he did it. I just think he could have done something else. That being said, the Bears are, I would say at this point, 85% likely to trade him and to take Caleb Williams number 1 overall. That's my belief at this point. And really, there's no point in discussing it further, because you're not going to know until the trade is made for the pick, which I don't think is going to happen, or the trade is made for Justin. You're not going to know until April 25th or whatever it is, the night of the draft. So if Fields gets shipped before then you obviously know what road they're going to go. But if not, then you'll find out draft night. But I would be shocked. I would be shocked at this point if they stuck with Fields. I just would be. I just can't see it happening.
I also say, I watched that clip. He said, he didn't want to watch. He's going on vacation. He didn't want to see football. Pretty pretty weird that, you start following a whole nother set of football players and football team.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
don't
Now,
wanna-
I don't know if he started following the Falcons guys after, or he had been following them, because I know him and Kyle Pitts were like boys. So I think that I just don't know the timing of that, but I hear what you're saying though, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it's a tough look, man. And the thing is it's kind of tough for him because towards the end of the year, like the Bears fans kind of embraced him,
Yeah.
and then he lost to the Packers, and then it was like, that's it. We're done with him. It's like,
Sure.
it always somehow comes back to the rivalry of the Bears Packers, and it's like,
As
if
it
you can't
should,
beat
though.
the Packers, and like you can't be either
Guys
the head
that-
coach
guys
or
never beat
the
him.
head quarterback of the fucking team.
3 years, he never beat him once.
couldn't.
You can't have that,
be.
man. You can't have that. You just can't have it. I mean, again, this is a guy that this year threw for 225 yards, right? In his career, he's thrown for 225 yards 6 times. In this season alone, 1 year, 22 other quarterbacks threw for that many or more in one season than he has in 3 years. You can't have an NFL quarterback who can't throw for more than 225 yards a game. You just can't.
Guy
no
was
matter how
running
good
for
he
his
is
life,
athletically.
Mikey. I mean, he was running.
Tick, he runs for his life, number one, because he opts out of throwing the ball because he's not confident. He holds the ball too long in the pocket. And if he is going to run with the ball and he's going to be running for his life, the offensive line was not the worst in the league this year. It just wasn't. It was not. The Washington Commanders
The
was.
Commanders was the worst.
Yeah, that's true.
And just it's listen, I love the guy. Everybody knows that's following me. I love the guy, but today's NFL, you need an athletic quarterback because all the great ones, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, they all could scoot and boogie. They all could run when they need to. When they got to make a scramble play, they all could do it to pick up a first down. But at the end of the day, you need a guy who could sit back, take the steps into the pocket, and eviscerate you from the pocket. And you saw what happened with Lamar in the AFC Championship game. He couldn't get it done from the pocket. He could not. He had no answer. Patrick Mahomes, those guys, they all can operate from the pocket, and Justin just has not proven that he can. He just hasn't. There's been no consistency there. I love him. I wanted it to work. I really did. Maybe he'll work somewhere else and I'll eat all my words. Maybe that'll be the case, and God bless him if he does.
Well, so do you guys think there's a realistic spot that he could go to and be successful? Do you think there's a team out there that he could realistically go to and make it work? Be the guy that everyone thought he would?
Atlanta's got a lot of playmakers. They got Drake London, they got Kyle Pitts, they got Bijan Robinson. I mean, that could be a spot. The Steelers always seem to just be a good team that always is a fringe playoff team year after year. He's got some talent there. I think they probably need a couple more pieces there, especially at wide out, but that could certainly be a spot for him. He's an outdoor quarterback. It's not like that's going to be a big deal for him to adjust to. They got a good defense, good coach. That could work.
What about the Lions?
What?
What about the Lions? I mean, if they ever moved off from Jared Goff, I mean,
I just don't think the Bears would ever trade him in division. I mean, they may release him if they keep him this year. They may release him and not pick up the 5th-year option, and he may become a free agent, and the Lions could do that.
Yeah.
But I can't see a world where the Bears are going to trade him to the Lions unless the Lions are like, I'll give you a first-round pick, then sure. But
yeah. Or Vegas. I think Vegas would be.
Now, they said today that Vegas was interested in that's the new rumor, that Vegas was the newest suitor for Fields and that they were shopping Fields. But man, I don't know. You're going to reunite this guy with Luke Getsy again after what happened this past year, and everyone's complaining about Luke Getsy and him. You're going to do it again? I mean, you got to be out of your mind if you're the Raiders, I think, to do that. But
I would say it's a step up from Garoppolo.
I agree with that.
Garoppolo
I agree.
Stinks.
I agree with that. The Raiders really need to get the quarterback position figured out, because you know what? I think they're going to be a decent little team with Antonio Pierce. I do.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be
had them
decent.
firing on all cylinders, man.
He did. They beat the Chiefs.
Well, now Jimmy G's suspended for 2 games for performance-enhancing drugs.
Did they actually end up cutting him or not yet?
Actually cutting him from the team?
I thought they did. They were talking about releasing him as soon as that news broke.
I haven't
they
seen
said they were on the
anything that
verge
he's
of
been
releasing
cut.
him.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Garoppolo to be released before mid-March.
There you
deadline.
go. Okay, because
He hasn't been,
that's
but
that's the pre-June cut saves you X amount of dollars against the cap as opposed to cutting him after June 1st or whatever. So that's probably why they want to do that.
This guy's done, man. He's
probably.
done. And Ticket, you and Bob used to sing this guy's praises. I mean, this guy is
Just win Jimmy.
Why are you going to bring up old shit?
He's
Why are you gonna bring up old
shit. He would just win, man. I mean, his record still is very good, but yeah, I mean, I know I should have known riding with Bob that that was going to bang me in the long run. That take, I just wasn't seeing the field well, kind of like Jimmy, unfortunately. All right, guys, let's move on to a couple more things before we go to who's a problem. Quickly, flag football, part of the Olympics. You give a shit? Does that entice you at all? Do you think it's ridiculous? Joseph, what do you think?
I haven't watched the Olympics in years.
I
like to watch the to be honest, I like to watch track and field events.
Yeah,
I think that those are very awesome to watch. And then the swimming, I'll watch the swimming.
The synchronized swimming.
No, like when Michael Phelps.
I know.
I mean, like the lap swimming, I thought that's cool. And then the gymnastics, I'll watch the gymnastics. That aside, you're hard pressed to get me to watch much. The Winter Olympics even less. Winter Olympics is strictly hockey. That's it.
I need to know who's going to play for Team USA flag football. I need to know who's playing. Like if it's going to be guys from the NFL, they better win that gold medal with going away, running away with it. There better not be anything that stops the USA from winning. That's our sport. So there is no way that we could lose that. They got to win that. Like you got to get the big dogs out there. You got to get like Tyreek Hill. You got to get like Jamar Chase, like guys that'll just smoke some guy from like Sweden. Like no chance you're going to cover Tyreek Hill. Who's covering Tyreek Hill? Like some guy from like Japan is going to cover him. He's going to get dusted. Like, no offense, but he's going to get dusted. Like, nobody's going to cover Tyreek Hill. We got guys playing football their whole lives can't cover this guy in the United States in the NFL. I mean,
you got to imagine like some of these rugby guys from New Zealand or something.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, they can't use their brute strength. It's flags. So it's
imagine Justin Jefferson in a fucking flag football game.
Yeah.
I can't imagine any of these NFL guys. You got to imagine it's going to be college athletes. I would think.
Yeah, you're probably right because I don't think the NFL guys. I don't know if like the NFL would let these guys play. I don't know.
Yeah, Joe.
They should give Michael and our guys start AJ McCarron.
Yes,
quarterback.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, guy was the league MVP in the XFL. Guy made the Bengals this year. He was a snap away from being the Bengals starter. They cut him, by the way.
Well, I know. I saw that.
He's back in the XFL with the Battlehawks.
That's ridiculous.
AJ McCarron, our guy.
By the way, switching subject, is the USFL like affiliated with the NFL in some way? Do they own that league? Because I've seen them.
No, it's just a merger of they merged with the XFL.
They did.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've also seen I've seen them run ads for the USFL on NFL broadcasts.
I'm sure that they have ties because some of those guys that play in that if they're standout players, they get brought up to NFL practice squads and stuff like that. If they're really dominant in that, I mean, that happens. I mean, you look at what happened with McCarron last year, all jokes aside, like the guy did get called up. He was on the active 53 man for the Bengals because of the Burrow situation. So
yeah, it
does happen. It just, I don't know how often it happens, but it happens.
Sure. All right. One more topic before we move on here. Mbappé leaving PSG. Joseph.
Yeah.
That's PSG's your team, man. You love them.
No.
Isn't that the team
PSG.
you would always play with in FIFA?
No, I would always play with Juventus.
Juventus
is always my team. Yeah.
Oh, Juventus.
Yeah, Juventus is always...
That's my squad, Joseph.
Is it really? It's a great squad. I used to love them because of Andrea Pirlo and Gianluigi Buffon.
Gianluigi Buffon.
And then, Chiellini. And I mean, just they had so many good players.
The old lady.
I will say, I think it's kind of cool to see him go. Obviously, Real Madrid is as good as it gets in terms of, football in Europe. It's as big of a team, as cherished as a dynasty. And I mean, they've had everybody from fucking, Zidane to fucking Ronaldo. To, I mean, the other Ronaldo.
Sure.
I mean, they've had everybody. Beckham did a stint there, so it's going to be cool, I think, to see him play You know, I wish it would have happened sooner, you know, when Messi was still with Barcelona. There, you know, what is it called? The match they have, the Copa
That's no, you're talking about El Clasico.
El Clasico, yeah, because that's always fucking electric every time Barcelona plays Real Madrid.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's gonna be really cool to see. And again, this guy, arguably the best footballer in the world right now. Chick, did I tell you I saw him in LA?
Mbappe?
Yeah, I did.
What?
I'm not even joking, dude. I went to do the Runyon Canyon.
Okay. To
Nicole
do
and I
the
were
Runyon
going-
Canyon. You would
Nicole and I were
Sure.
going to do the Runyon Canyon, and we parked, and all of a sudden this giant black Escalade. You know where the entrance to the Runyon Canyon is?
Yeah.
There's like the gate you got to go through, and then
Mhm.
there's normally a guy selling shit on the side.
Yeah.
So this fucking giant Escalade pulls right up next to this gate, and like 4 guys get out, and the thing leaves, and I look over and I'm like, oh my fucking goodness. It's Mbappe, and he was in town for, I think it was, what's the sports awards? Is it the ESPYs?
The ESPYs, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah. So it was something, I don't remember exactly what it was. And I looked at Nicole, I'm like, nobody even knows who the fuck this guy is. This guy, he's just walking, and he just went to start doing the fucking Runyon Canyon.
Wild.
You didn't say anything to him?
I was from I wasn't close enough. It was from a distance. There's a
Joey-
very likely possibility it wasn't Mbappe. I mean, but I swear to God,
Wait, what?
Wait.
There was a possibility it wasn't him?
I'm saying maybe it wasn't him. I'm saying I'm pretty certain that I know what Mbappe looks
No,
like.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if
But
you're
I didn't have a
telling that-
chance
If
to
you're
go
telling
t-
that story, listen, you have to stick with it was him. You can't.
100%.
Okay, then 100%. Okay.
The guy was wearing all Nike. I mean, he's
Had to
he's
be
a
Mbappe
very
then.
noticeable guy. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
Joey Colcott's Kylian Mbappe conversation would be interesting.
I would have no idea what to say to him.
What can you say to him? Congrats on all the success, man. Great job.
I
Vive
love
la
your work.
France. Vive la France.
Bon chance.
Yes. Casablanca, unoccupied France. God bless.
I will say that watching him in the World Cup was pretty fucking amazing, man.
No, he's a special. He's a special player.
Him going up like in that second half against Argentina
God.
was
Yeah,
one of the
that
better games.
I mean, that was one of the better finals in the history. It's amazing.
Unbelievable. But yeah, to answer your question, Tick, I think it's going to be really cool. I think it'll be really good. And I think if you're a huge player like that, it's in your benefit to move around. And kudos to him. He turned down going to the Saudi League. They were going to offer him a fucking king's ransom. And I'm sure he's still making a fortune, but he would have making a lot more. And he said no. And I think there's a lot of merit to that, man.
Absolutely.
Same way as there was when Messi said no and instead took a smart business deal to go to fucking the MLS. And look at Ronaldo's rotting away now in the fucking Saudi league. Nobody even knows what this guy's doing.
Yeah, I have no idea. He fell
McGregor.
off the face of the earth. I haven't seen a Ronaldo highlight, and I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even
Well,
know.
that's what happens. Nobody's watching.
I was so excited when he came to Juventus too. I thought we were going to win Champions League. We came so close, but
We went to the semis twice.
I thought we went to the finals with him. Did we not?
We went to the finals once, and we went to the semis once or twice. And
It's a shame we couldn't. Shame we couldn't do it. Really is.
Awful.
Why do you think it benefits players to move around, like the really good players? Why do you say
Well,
that?
because sometimes, depending on the league, right? Like I would say La Liga overall from start to finish is a more well-rounded league than, than the French league. In the French league,
Okay.
you have PSG, you have Lyon, you have Marseille, you have a few teams who are good, but you look at La Liga, man, and you got Barcelona, you got fucking Atletico Madrid, you got Real Madrid, Valencia, you got lots of good teams. And I think it showcases the player a little bit better that, especially when you're going to a different league, so, and for Champions League, it'll be cool to see him playing with Real.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really cool. I think he's still so young. It's crazy, man. He's got like another two to three World Cups that he can still play for before he retires. Which is insane.
he's still in his prime. Still in his
It's
prime.
unbelievable.
When he broke on onto the scene in the World Cup, and not this one, the one prior, I believe. I mean, he was only like 18 years old.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was ago.
Yeah, I mean, he is. I mean, now he's probably 23. I would guess 20. He's right in the middle of his prime still. You know, he's got one more like spectacular run left in the World Cup, I would imagine. But Joe's right; he'll play in the next two.
He's 25 now.
Think.
But I mean,
Yeah,
even
I mean,
he'll be 33 in two.
Yeah,
two more World Cups, he'll be 33.
33 is getting up there in soccer, dude. I mean,
Yeah,
he ain't gonna run. He ain't gonna run at 33 the way he's gonna run in this one.
But Mikey,
sure.
of course, but Mikey, he could even at 33 could come off the bench.
He could. No, he'll be like Messi at that point, like Messi was in the last World Cup. I mean, that's fine. I mean, he's still going to be better than 80% of the players in the world at that point, probably. So
yes,
it won't matter.
Well, it's all that conditioning he's getting over at Runyon Canyon, man.
It is.
That's what's keeping him young, though.
Yeah.
Tick, I got to get you. We're now on the EPL train. Mikey got us on.
Yeah, we're big on soccer now, man. This is a soccer.
I can get involved.
This is a soccer show now.
I might have to get up Saturday morning to watch a game with Mikey. I might have to tune something in just to get something going.
Yeah.
So are Saturdays like their football Sundays?
Yes.
Like Saturday, the big
well,
day?
No, but
Saturday
Europe,
and Sunday
Saturday
morning.
evening.
Saturday and Sunday morning, you get the EPL action. It's the best.
In fact, I'm going to see who's playing. I'm going to see who's playing on Saturday.
Well, we got Champions League this week. We had two great Champions League games today with Arsenal.
That's where it gets confusing. So Champions League is when you have both of the leagues playing together.
All of the major league, all of the Champions League.
La Liga, Bundesliga.
Well, Champions League is like
Bundesliga. Yeah.
So you have to qualify. You have to qualify for the Champions League, and then they have teams from every single division from all around Europe. And basically they go in round robin and they get selected. So like you'll have a team from, the Serie A, like Juventus playing a team from, the EPL, like Manchester United.
So that's got to be like the pinnacle, right? That's got to be bigger than winning your own league.
It's winning the Champions League is like arguably the biggest thing that you can.
Yes,
I think
so. That's the biggest club championship accomplishment that you can win.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean the only thing bigger than that is winning the Euro Cup or winning the World Cup. That's the only thing.
Right. Okay, guys, let's move on here to who's a problem. Mikey, let's start with you this week. Who's a problem?
Oh boy, who's a problem this week? Let's think about that very briefly. And I'm going to say that Adam Silver's a problem. I think that this guy's got to get a handle on this league. I think that. Sure. He voiced, I think, his displeasure, which good for him. He should have after that pathetic display that was the All-Star game. But man, do they need to reevaluate like even the in-season tournament thing that they did at the beginning? Just the NBA has just lost so much of its bite. There's no bite to it whatsoever. It's so washed out. And it's sad because college basketball is so good. College basketball is so fun, so entertaining. And then you come to the pros and it's like, man, like this is just, what is it? There's no substance to it. It just feels like a shell of its former self. And I think they need to just figure it out. And maybe Silver's got to, I don't know, put his foot down, rearrange priorities or whatever you got to do. But man, it's getting tougher and tougher to watch. Like I'd rather watch a regular season baseball game between the Reds and the Indians than the Guardians than watch a regular season NBA game at this point.
I agree. I mean, the NBA's fucked until they find a way to make these guys play defense. Until they figure out how to do that, there's nothing they can do. They can have all these in series or in season tournaments. They could try all these little gimmicks. Until you make them play defense, it's going to be the same crap product.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
No, you're right.
All right, Joe, who's a problem this week?
I'm going to do a duo, like two guys in one. I'm going to do Pat Beverly and JJ Redick. Okay. These guys are trying to stay relevant right now, and nobody really gives a shit. JJ Redick, I mean, am I wrong? JJ Redick is jarring with Pat Beverly. Pat Beverly, it all stemmed, Mikey, if you didn't hear what happened, it all stemmed from Doc Rivers became the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks mid-season out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then somehow made the All-Star game as the head coach, which is one of the wilder things.
I remember when I remember when they fired the Bucks head coach and everyone was like, why did they fire this guy? He had a winning record. Like he had a good record with Milwaukee still during the season. So I remember that, but go ahead, continue.
So anyways, JJ Redick was saying, they've recently been experiencing some losing. They've not been great. And so he was just saying that Doc Rivers has been an issue. And, and there's a big reason, like, instead of just blaming the players, that he should take some of the heat. Pat Beverly got traded to the Bucks at the trade deadline. So now he's a Buck. This guy's been around the league like 7,000 times. You want to talk about, what was the phrase we talked about? A journeyman. This guy is the ultimate journeyman now, man. So anyways, he defended his coach. He started jarring at fucking JJ Redick, and now they got Twitter beef going on back and forth, and they're talking about it on their podcast and on the Stephen A show. JJ Redick was running his mouth and stuff. It's like, come on, man. Like, it's just like, I that's why I stopped watching these sports shows, Mikey, because I just can't. It's like they make up this drama, or they make up this shit that nobody gives a fuck about. And it's like, then they blow it out of proportion, and Stephen A is going off on this guy, and this guy's going off on this one, and this, and it's just, it's all clickbait. I can't stand it. And you know what? It's just like, JJ Redick is no longer relevant in terms of, like, he was a great basketball player. Pat Beverly was saying, he shouldn't have been fucking guarding, who was it when they lost in the playoffs? He said Jamal Crawford should have been in his position instead. And they're just going back and forth. Pat Beverly is past his prime. And I used to love the tenacity that he played with. But I just think that they're both, it's just like they're just trying to be in the public eye, And so it's like sometimes this Twitter beef, and again, I don't use Twitter for this reason, because I'd probably be going off against half the people on that fucking platform.
You would be. You
need a Twitter, man. You need one.
Although I got to be honest, I feel like people on Instagram with the comments let that fly a lot more than they do with like tweets. I just feel that. I just feel that way. Like, and the Instagram people, why they're worse is because half the people that clap on Instagram have the feature where you can't at them and respond to anything. Like, it won't allow you to at them, which is really the most cowardly move of all time. You are you are lower than whale shit. If you comment on Instagram and you clap at people and you don't allow them to tag you back, you are an absolute coward. A coward.
There's a lot of those people out there. A lot of them are celebrities.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Well, but celebrities aren't going to clap at you though. I'm talking about.
I don't mean celebrities. I mean like public figures, like people who work for ESPN or like reporters or like guys like that.
Even them, I feel like it's these average Joes that are like Joe Blow nobody, and they comment and they clap at you, and then you try and at them to just even say like, "Oh, thanks a lot, man," and it says, "Oh, so and so does not allow you to mention." Well, you're a coward. You're a coward.
Yeah. Joe, you got to get on Twitter, man. It is. I've been trying to get you on it for a while. I didn't either, and then I just dove in head first, and I like it arguably more than Instagram now. I think it's great. I think it's a wild amount of fun.
Twitter is great.
It's as good as it gets. You will have to bite your tongue though a little bit. You're gonna have to learn to not get so upset with it. There's just trolls. There's 10 times more trolls on Twitter than there are on Instagram. But I think it could be good, man. I think you'd like it a lot. All right. My who's a problem this week is not sports related. It's apartment building complexes. To fucking apply to these places now, you have to pay $500. You've got administrative fees, you've got application fees, you've got background check. I used to apply, I moved around a lot. It was never more than $50. And you could usually get it refunded if you didn't get the apartment. I had to pay, I couldn't apply to more than 2 places because it was $500 between the 2 of them. I spent almost $1,000 to apply to 2 different apartment building complexes.
You know how much I
Hopefully
paid?
I get one.
$1,200.
For what, just the one place?
Now,
was
here's
any of
the
it your
thing,
deposit?
Some of it was like, I think there was a way that if you didn't get approved for, you got half of it back. So it would have cost you $600.
These guys are scumbags, man, because there's nothing that they need to pay for. Those margins must be insane because all they need to pay for is a background check. That's the only money out of that application process that is that they need to use for that. And that doesn't cost more than $50. So my guy just made $425 off of an apartment I might not even fucking get. That's just terrible. That's just a scam, man. That's just a scam. Lord knows how many people are going to apply to it. Only one guy's going to get it. It's just, I find it to be disgusting. I find it to be horribly, horribly disgusting.
How many how many vacant apartments are available in the unit that you're in.
Well,
in
I
the
applied to
building
two
there.
different. I applied to 2 different buildings, and they had the exact same application fees. Like what?
Ticket. I'll give you some bad news.
Yeah,
You want some bad news?
not really,
That
but
this area was just rated the highest financial income area in the United States of America. So I guess these people are aware, and they're just throwing out fucking fees.
bro,
'cause
part
they
of the
figure
draw
people
about
can
moving
afford
there
it.
when we first started this process was like, oh, it'll be cheaper than LA. I don't think it is, man. I think it's more
No,
expensive.
it is cheaper because of taxes.
Okay, well, I haven't started
Yes.
that process yet. I
Yes.
got to get a residence before I can start getting it.
Yeah, but the taxes, you're gonna be like, oh my God, this is wonderful.
Oh, Tiki, you know
I
how much
guess.
gas is here? You know how much gas is?
Like $3. Yeah, it's nice.
That's like
real
Jersey.
nice.
That's like Jersey.
Yeah, that's real. That's tight. That's tight, man.
What is it in
paying-
Cali? $5 a
paying-
gallon?
Oh, $5.
At
Like
least.
it was fucking ticket. I'm paying $5.29 for premium.
In
For
Florida?
pre-
You get that
Premium.
You got it like that, Tom? You got it like that, man?
Of course
So you're
he's gotta
paying the
pay for
same amount of
premium.
money for gas. You're just getting the better shit now.
No, I
Yeah,
was
because he
paying,
had to
no,
go
I was-
get it. From...
I was paying premium in LA. I was paying way more than that.
You
Oh,
were
you
putting premium into that Jaguar?
It had to 91 octane.
You're wild, dog.
Nice.
You had to. It was a V8, Michael.
I hear you.
The thing went like 200 miles an hour.
What about the
More.
Celica, though? Back in the day, you weren't putting premium into that thing.
Fuck no, the Mitsubishi Eclipse.
Oh, the Eclipse. Right, the Eclipse.
No, that thing was getting 87 regular octane.
All right, guys, let's move on to some viewer questions. Let's tackle a few of these today. First one comes from Ethan Rysenga. If you guys were to rob a casino, Ocean's 11 style, what would everyone's role be? I'll start. I think Joe would be that little. I think he'd be that little guy who was the acrobat who flipped all around the room. I think that's who Joe would be. I think you.
Oh, give me a break. By the
Listen,
way, I
man,
never
you
watched
used
that
to
movie.
you used to balance on medicine balls, man. I think you could be that guy.
I don't know if I could do fucking flipstick. By the way, I've never watched that movie from start to finish.
Oh
Any
my
of them.
God. It's a
You watch-
classic.
Nicole says that it's a drastic mistake on my part. I've never
It's a
watched it.
classic.
It's
That's a
massive, dude.
classic.
All three of them are. The second one's a little poor, but the third one kind of rebounds again.
The OG with Sinatra and Dean Martin is great. It's great.
Wait, Sinatra's in it?
In the original Ocean's 11, yeah. Or the Ocean's 11. Yes.
I think
Is
I think Mikey would be Andy Garcia, the guy who owns the hotel, the casino. I think that's
Getting
who
ripped off. That's me.
Yeah. Well, you
great.
tried extremely hard, but the
Sure.
crew was just too good, man.
Yeah, I think I would be Dean Martin's character in Ocean's 11, the original Ocean's 11.
Is that Brad Pitt in the newer one? Does he play that guy?
Maybe. I don't know. I see the new one I haven't seen in so long, but the original one I watched pretty recently, so I don't really remember. But yeah, the original Ocean's 11, 1960. You should watch that, Joe. It's great. Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., the whole Rat Pack. It's
Yeah.
phenomenal. It's
I
phenomenal.
didn't even know that there was an original.
Yes, the
Yeah.
original Ocean's 11, the original Rat Pack, Sinatra, Dean Martin. You watch some of those old Sinatra movies, man. They're Robin Hood and the Seven Thieves. I mean, they're really good, really good.
There you go. All right, guys. Next question comes from Cam. If you had one dream sponsor for the Sportsman, what would it be?
NASCAR.
Oh,
No.
Dream. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. I'd love to be sponsored by McDonald's.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Gatorade.
Gatorade was another one I thought about.
Gatorade.
What
would be
about
cool.
Really good.
what about Michael? What about like Nespresso?
Oh, I would love that.
Oh,
In fact,
nice.
I would love one right now.
We're
I can tell you
all avid coffee drinkers here. I think
Oh
my
Nespresso.
God.
Imagine getting your machine.
that. Nespresso
your
always.
pods.
Anytime I tag Nespresso, they always hit back in the DM every time.
Really?
Yeah, they always do. They're good.
I gotta
Their
start hitting
customer
them
service.
up.
Let me tell you something. And the Nespresso app, when you order Nespresso pods off the Nespresso app, These fucking people will deliver those pods, regular standard shipping. They will be at your door the next morning. I don't know how they do it. On a Sunday, I don't know how they do it. The best shipping and delivery I've seen of any company. It's unreal, Nespresso, how good they are.
That's unbelievable.
Is that the only coffee you drink, Mikey? Are you an espresso
No,
guy?
no, but when I'm home, we have the Nespresso. So, but in the morning when I go out to work, I just grab a cup from my local whatever.
Some people think that Keurig is as good. It's not.
I have the Keurig at this place, and it's fine. It's fine.
It's simply not as good.
It's watery. You can't get it to. It's
watery. It's watery. It's weak. Nespresso puts a natural froth onto the top of the coffee.
It does.
Yeah,
it's unreal, man. It's just unreal. It's just unreal.
All right, so Nespresso it is.
And the nice little Nespresso cup that it comes with.
I bought the little glass ones. Do you have? Is that the one you're talking about, Tick?
Yeah, I used to have it. I don't have it anymore. But
this one, hold on, I'll show you.
Okay.
Wait, what? Where's he going?
He's getting the Nespresso glass cup that it comes with, or you have to buy it. That's a nice touch.
Did you tail the Gators tonight?
I didn't tail the Gators tonight. I haven't been betting much. When I'm alone, I don't tend to bet.
We got a tie game with 35 seconds left.
All right.
Bama and Florida.
Is this an only subs pick?
It is. I took the Gators plus 8.5. They were getting.
You've been pretty hot. You've been doing well. Yeah, thing.
Joe, I have that, but I have the full-size coffee cup glass from Nespresso.
Really. I got these ones with the saucers, and they're for the they're sensational.
Joe, did you take Florida tonight? Did you tail Florida plus 8.5?
Oh, you're Florida? No, I didn't. I took Alabama live plus 2.5.
Okay, it's tied. It's 85-85.
It's about to go to overtime.
No, is it? I don't want overtime.
It's 14 seconds left. Alabama just is going to have the ball coming back.
I hope they score. I hope they score. I hope Alabama scores.
Yeah, well, we would both win.
Yes.
So have you been doing well with the betting recently, Joe? I haven't talked to you much about it.
Last week's not
when
good.
When he's not with Bob.
Well, yeah. Bob, we really banged us. I mean, I love the guy. And listen, I would say, I said this to him the other day, for a guy who has everything in the world, like he's got like this guy had a video come out of him hitting the worst golf ball I've ever seen. And the same day, Tiger Woods hit the same shank.
All right. Next question comes from Liam Hayes. Guys from Liverpool, England. He's got an EPL question here. Which Premier League team would you boys support if you had to choose one? Maybe you guys already have one. I don't know.
Well, I would say I don't have one yet. Obviously, the big teams, Liverpool, Man City, Man U, Chelsea, not so much anymore. But here's the thing, is that Perez is unbeknownst to a lot of people, is a humongous Liverpool supporter. Yeah. So I feel like in respect to FP, I would probably jump on board the Liverpool train. And then I'll never walk alone again.
Same.
Same. I
Sure.
You know what it is? It's like, I feel like we don't have anybody else in our crew that's like hardcore supporting a team. So like, I want to ride with the boys, So for me, I would probably do that. So, oh my goodness, Michael, it's going to overtime.
Yeah, I don't share a team with any of you guys. So maybe we can go with Liverpool. Let's go with Liverpool. Mikey.
Well, who does Liverpool play this week? Who does Liverpool play this week? Maybe we can ride that. Liverpool. I don't even know.
What are we doing here, pal?
If I swear to God, if Florida fucking loses by 9 points in overtime, I'm gonna lose my fucking.
They won't lose by 9.
They won't lose by 9, Mikey. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Bob's not on the bet. It's just you.
That's true.
All right, Joe. While you look for that, I'll ask you one more question. Bailey wants to know: any chance the boys would watch a rugby league or the AFL game this offseason? Is that something you could get into? Oh no.
No. No.
Rugby or what? Or AFL?
Yeah.
Like Aussie rule? I'll tell you one thing. When I went to
Aussie rules football.
When I went to Australia, these guys go crazy. It was rugby union, which is where the All Blacks play. And then the rugby, the Aussie rules is like completely different style. Like they do more kicking and stuff it's fucking cool, man. Those guys get into it. And there's nothing quite like going to a bar in Australia and watching, and you have no idea what's going on. These guys are losing their minds.
I would definitely. I would 100% watch it under the circumstances like Joe just described. If I was like there, I would love it. But like for me to sit home in my living room and watch it, I don't know.
I will say the other coolest thing is watching in the rugby union, the All Blacks. They do that before the game. They have the chant that they do.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking. I mean,
The haka?
imagine you're
Those are guys that do the haka?
something,
Yeah.
You watch that. Imagine you're going up against those guys beforehand.
Sure.
These guys
That's
look like they're ready to kill your firstborn.
But those
By
guys
the
are
way-
from New Zealand, though, aren't they? Isn't that a New Zealand team, the All Blacks?
Yeah, New Zealand, but that's rugby union. So
Oh,
they'll
okay.
play Australia, they'll play England, they'll play.
Got it.
It's international. Michael, Liverpool this Sunday plays Chelsea, 10 a.m.
Oh, that's a good one.
at Chelsea. That's
That's a
going to
good
be a nice little match.
That's a good
Maybe
one.
the boys do a little
Sure.
I'll
summer.
ride with that.
I like the 7:30 a.m. starts. The real early birds are great, man. Wake up, cup of coffee, and you just sit there. My kids aren't even awake yet. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh,
By the way, Luton Town lost today, or what day was it? They lost to Liverpool 4-1. That's
Yeah,
what
they
we
stink.
should have. That's
They
what we
stink.
should have got, Michael. That's what
All
we should
right.
have got.
Let's do one more and then let's get out of here. Sean wants to know, with baseball around the corner, who do you see in the World Series? Who are your teams that you're taking to make the World Series? Mikey?
it's a great question. National League. Listen. The Dodgers bought themselves a pennant, or at least they're trying to purport that they bought themselves a pennant. So I'm going to go with the Dodgers just because. Now, the Dodgers historically, they're probably going to fall. They're probably losing the first round of the playoffs, but I'm just going to pick the Dodgers just because that's who I'm going to take right now. And then
Don't
in
do
the
it.
AL, coming out of the AL, I'll go ultra dark horse. How about this one? Give the Baltimore Orioles.
Whoa!
Orioles. Yeah, I think
I
the
like
Orioles
that.
are going to be a headache to deal with for a very, very long time, man. So yeah, I'll take a wild shot in the AL. Give me the Orioles, and then I'll go chalk in the NL, and I'll take.
You want to take the Yankees, though, don't you?
No, I don't, dude. I'm not pleased. If they get Blake Snell, I'll be pleased, but I'm not completely
You
pleased
guys
with
are
what-
never happy, man.
No,
Juan
no.
Soto, man. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know.
Your pitching does need help, though, which wins
Pitching
World
needs
Series.
help.
That's
pitching needs help, Tech.
I
Yeah.
agree
We
with
need
Michael.
Snell. If they get Snell, that would be really nice.
Snell is great. I do agree with Michael that I do think that with regards to the NLS, the Dodgers got to be the favorite, but I won't take Chuck. I'll take the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Braves are still going to be an unbelievable team.
They're a great team. No, they're a
They're
great team.
still going
They
to
are.
be great. And you know they barely lost this. You know it was what it was. But I'll take they ran into a buzzsaw team, which you know I'm not going to go in there because I don't want to upset Tick. But they ran into a buzzsaw, and you know I still think that they're a great team. But I'll go with the Braves. And in the American League, give me the Devil Rays. I think Tampa's still a very good team. So, but who am I?
That's-
I don't know jack shit about baseball. My guy.
Listen,
knows
if
more.
Arizona can make a run like they did last year, I mean, there's no
Yeah.
pick that's that crazy.
That's right. That's why I kind of like Baltimore. But
Sure.
what do you-
Although
what do you
I still
Tech?
think the Astros are still going to be. They're all
Yeah, Astros.
They're always
I didn't
good.
want to go. I didn't want to go too chalky on both sides, so that's why I went 1-1. But
Give me the Phillies.
fighting Phils,
Fighting Phils,
fighting
man.
Phils.
I think it's our time. We've been close a lot recently. I think this is our year. And then I like the Yankees. I think you guys will make a move by the trade deadline if you find that you do need some help. I think you guys are pretty much all in to try and win this year and next year, because I don't know how long you're going to be able to hang on to everybody. So I like the Yankees. I like the Yankees to do whatever it takes. That
Wow,
being
I
said,
like that.
they have just been riddled with bad luck. They just
Yes.
can't get out of their own way. Now I'm banking on that not continuing this year, but who knows? Give me the Phillies, give me the Yankees, and that'll be a fun one. That would be, if that happens, that'd be a lot of fun.
Yankees, Phillies. Oh man,
Oh
Yeah.
God,
I don't think you
2009
talk to each other.
2009 all over again, baby.
I
Sorry,
wouldn't be
Tech.
able to watch that game.
Jimmy Rollins fucked that up for you guys because he just couldn't shut his mouth. That was Jimmy Rollins' fault.
Wait, which one? What are you talking about?
In 09, man.
Yes.
Jimmy Rollins
Yeah,
was
yeah.
talking so much shit, dog.
Yeah, he was. We'll always have 2008 though.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
Yeah.
Met Ryan Howard, by the way. Nice guy.
Oh,
Where'd you
no,
meet-
Michael.
Yeah, I know, dude. What is
the
it
guy
now? Are
just-
they up
The
8?
guy just missed a front end of a 1-1.
I saw, Joe. I saw.
Where'd
They're
you
up-
meet
they're up
Ryan
5.
Howard? Where did you meet
You
Ryan
met
Howard?
Ryan Howard?
So Ryan Howard vacationed at the same place where I vacation every single summer with my kids. They're up 7. I'm gonna lose this fucking game in overtime,
Oh
dude.
no!
I told you, bro. Why would you say you can't lose? Why? How much?
I didn't say you can't lose.
Fucking
Nobody
2
said
minutes,
that.
fucking
No, I
46
never
seconds.
said that. I never
All right.
said you can't lose. Not
End
once.
the show, Tick.
All right. All right. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe for Mikey. Send your questions into the Instagram. Mr. Anderson will send them back to us at the end of each show. A lot of fun as always, boys. Didn't end the way we wanted it to, but Mikey V, Joey D, I'm a big
Mike,
ticket.
you're still covering. You're still covering.
We'll see
Good night,
you guys
gentlemen.
next time.